Hello everyone, I'm Tobias, 31 years old and usually startup founder from Munich, Germany. But I'm having a slight change of scenery in my life by fulfilling a long-held dream of mine. I'm going to be a truck driver. And not just a normal truck driver, an electric truck driver. In this video, I will tell you why I'm doing this and what happened in the past few months that made me decide to do it. Join me on my ride to my new job in Ostfriesland in northern Germany. And from Munich to the North Sea is quite a long distance, so I have enough time to explain everything. Let me pack up my solar roof and let's hit the road. We are on the road now, so let me tell you my story of how I ended up focusing my career around electric cars. It all started back in 2016, when I bought my first electric car, a Renault Zoe. I was still studying in university and did not have a lot of money, so I imported it from France. That was a crazy story back then, but that's how I first got in touch with electric cars. Afterwards, I worked for several companies, including Tesla Motors in Munich and Mobility House. And then I discovered a problem that companies and large apartment complexes have, and in 2018 co-founded the company ChargeX. Our goal was to create an intelligent charging system that allows to charge multiple electric cars from one socket. Building and growing the company was an exciting time, and we even ended up on the German version of Shark Tank. Now the company has grown quite a bit, and in total we installed over 6,000 chargers. I also founded two other companies in this space, Zero Campers, an electric van rental service, and a tabletop game about electric cars that was funded over Kickstarter. But about a year ago, ChargeX got bigger and bigger, and it reached the point where I had to deal with more management and personnel issues than product development. I wasn't having that much fun anymore and thought about starting a new project, electric trucks. And that's why I started looking for my successor at ChargeX. The headhunting, interviews, and onboarding took in total about a year, but it was totally worth it, because now I'm a free man. The company is in good hands. I'm no longer involved in operations, but I'm still a partner and also on the advisory board, which means I'm still connected to the company, but I have time to start something new. I think that electric trucks are the next big thing. It's technically fascinating what has to happen in the next few years because there are so many trucks driving around Germany and all over Europe that burn so many liters of diesel. Implementing the energy transition in this sector will be really exciting. My enthusiasm comes a little from my youth. When I was little, my dad had a kind of circus wagon and also a tractor for this circus wagon. It was a Kramer all-wheel U800, and I was allowed to drive it as a small child. Driving a car was semi-legal on closed-off areas, but I thought that was totally awesome, and that's why I was always in love, you could say, with commercial vehicles. I always found it technically exciting, and now with these electric trucks, it is not yet entirely clear how they will be powered in the future, whether they will be battery electric trucks, maybe hydrogen, or some kind of e-fuels that we can use. I want to help shape that future and share the knowledge I learn along the way. After step 1 with ChargeX was completed, step 2 was getting a truck license. Because if you want to really get to know and be part of the industry, you need to become a part of it. I did my license at a small company near my hometown in a brand new DAF-XG. A really cool truck with a 3-axle and a lifting axle at the rear, which made the parking a lot easier. There are also trucks with a turntable at the rear, but to properly park them is a science in itself. After getting the license, I could privately drive trucks, but to apply for a job, I had to do further training, the so-called basic qualification, so that you can also drive a truck commercially. The last step was to get a truck, so I contacted some truck manufacturers. They all found my idea exciting, but none of them wanted to give me a 400,000 euro truck. So that did not work out so well. I then thought about renting a truck, but nobody wanted to do that either, with me having no job experience. So the only option was applying as a truck driver at a company specialized on electric trucks. So I did some research and found some great companies that embrace electric trucks and even have their own charging system and battery storage. I visited the company Ansorg that uses lots of electric Volvo trucks and have their own charging concept with a mobile battery. Then I talked to the company Schmidt Logistic, which has been using the e-Actros 300 and Volvo FM for a long time, and the company Elfline. All great companies, but the only issue is that they only drive scheduled routes, which means that their electric trucks only drive from A to B, which I find way less interesting than the long distance routes, because you can already drive short and medium distances with an electric truck today without any issues, as long as you have a charger at the start and destination. After a lot more research, I was ready to give up. But then I found a picture of the company Nano Jansen, which had just installed 10 DC chargers at their location. So I gave them a call, and they told me that they had just ordered a bunch of 40-ton trucks and that the picture was just the beginning. I had a great conversation with them, and they ended up inviting me to test drive one of their new trucks, the Iveco S E-Way. That was the first time I've actually driven such a truck, but I kept my cool, and afterwards we agreed that I would be working for them, but would only drive electric trucks. And the idea is that I drive these new trucks to the limit and do routes that people usually would use diesel trucks for, and see if it is also possible with an electric truck. And I would document my experience to see if and where it is possible to easily charge with an electric truck. And of course, by making videos about it, show people that the switch to electric trucks is already possible. So last week was my last day working for ChargeX, and from now on, I'm working for Nano Jansen, and I'm really excited about it. They already have some Volvo trucks, and next week a Scania truck is supposed to arrive. And my goal with this channel is to make the daily work and life as an e-truck driver transparent, educate you about it, and hopefully allow for some insights. But I'm not claiming that it's going to be perfect. There will be problems, and I want to show and address them so we can all learn from it. If you know people or companies working in the field, make sure to recommend this channel to them so they can learn more about which trucks are available, the charging speed, range, and recent developments. My plan is to make a weekly vlog, but also some special videos about specific companies, trucks, or conventions. For example, there are companies currently developing a Europe-wide charging system as well as a battery swapping service. And the company I'm now working for is working on a large battery storage, as well as a solar installation. We just arrived in Leer, and from here it's not far to the company anymore. And they even have Tesla superchargers right next to the Autobahn exit. The first day couldn't be more exciting. I got to grips with things here, got to know my colleagues, helped a bit with unloading. Behind me you can already see the charging park with one of the first trucks, the Volvo FM Electric with the large battery. And we're going with the boss straight to the Scania dealer in Bremen and pick up the brand new Scania truck, fully electric of course, and maybe I'll even be able to transport it myself. But in logistics, sometimes things can happen in the last 5 minutes. Scania just called to say that the truck wasn't ready yet because it was displaying an error message, which of course should be fixed before delivery. It's a bit of a shame, but Iveco has contacted us saying that the 2 S E-Ways are now in Hamburg. We don't know exactly when we can have them, but it will be relatively soon. I'm already looking forward to my first trip because tonight at 3 AM there's a little tour with the Volvo FM Electric. We're going to drive about 450 kilometers, which it can't manage on its own, which means we have to charge. But that's exactly what I'm here for, which means it's definitely going to be a wild tour, and I'll report on that in the next video. Stay tuned if you're interested in the topic, and I don't want to cut anything out. I'm really reporting everything as it goes because that's the only way you can learn something from it. So subscribe to the channel and recommend it to other logistics companies if you find the topic interesting too. Till next time, ciao.